What's going on, guys? It's Chris, and today I'm coming out with a new video. So there's a big question around skateboarding decks. A lot of people feel like cheaper decks are cheaply made and aren't really good skateboards. But I've skated a ton of skateboards during my years of skateboarding, and I've learned a lot about different skate brands. Today I'm going to be answering the question, are $30 boards worth it? I know there are a lot of beginners out there because of quarantine, so I thought this would be a really good idea to help guide some of the beginning skaters a little bit. I've skated so many brands. I've skated Baker, Deathwish, CCS, Skate Warehouse, and many more skateboard brands. So I have a pretty good idea of what decks are good and what decks aren't really good. But today I'm going to be reviewing the CCS $30 skateboard. And this is the skateboard that I've been skating for the past month, and I made a setup video on this. So if you want to check that out, I'll link the card up above. But I've been skating this deck for like a month, and I've been skating this deck mostly flat ground, but towards the end of its life, I started skating a lot of street. I started skating a 7-stair, 4-stair, 5-stair, so it started taking a pretty good amount of impact. This deck has been holding up super well for $30. I bought this deck for $30, and I didn't expect much because of the price, but honestly, this deck skated really well. I'm honestly super happy with how long it's lasted. I went into skating this deck with low expectations just because it was a lower priced deck and I thought it was going to be cheaply made. But honestly, I've been shopping CCS for the longest time, and this deck was honestly really good. I would definitely buy another one. I'm pretty sure the prices right now are $43 for the deck. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. But when I checked out this board, it was $30, so I hopped on the deal and bought it. I'm really happy with how it's skated. It's handled impact super well. I skated a 7-stair and was doing a kickflip battle, and honestly took some bad slams with it. So the chipping is pretty normal with any other deck. Every other deck would have chipped exactly the same. And there's been a few lands where I landed right dead center in the middle, and a lot of different boards would have snapped, but this deck held up super well, so I'm happy with that. This deck has been skated for a month, like I already said, and there's been a pretty good amount of chips, but I chip every single one of my boards, and if you know me, you know that I chip every single one of my skateboards, mostly because I have a commitment issue, especially when skating stairs. I'm always kicking out, so every single deck is gonna chip no matter what for me. This deck has a pretty good amount of chips where I usually chip them, which is around the nose, so that isn't a big surprise. The pop has been lasting super long for this deck, and that's crazy to me because it is a $30 skateboard, and that is really good in my books. I would continue skateboarding this deck even longer. Like, this deck still has a lot of life left in it for me. I'm gonna skate it for maybe another week or two before I completely give it out, but the pop on this deck is really good. The shape of this deck is honestly really good as well. I've skated a lot of companies with weirdly shaped decks, and CCS makes some good shapes for their skateboards. I've skated skateboards that are extremely flat, and those have been my least favorite skateboards, but this deck had a really nice shape to it. One thing that I really didn't like about this deck was that it chipped right below the tail on the graphic side. And a lot of my boards don't really do that usually, but that's just a little thing, and it didn't affect my skateboarding really at all. That's just a little thing that bothered me. But overall, if I were to rate this skateboard deck, I would rate it a solid 8 out of 10 just because of the price. It is skated super well and lasted well over a month for $30. If you want to find yourself a good deck for a really cheap price, I'll link the board in the description. A lot of skateboards have really skated similar for me. At the end of the day, a skateboard is a skateboard, and if you're going to learn how to skate, you're going to learn to skate on whatever board you're riding. It all depends on personal preference, what kind of shapes or whatever you feel more comfortable on. The big thing is backing the company that you really like. If you back Baker Skateboards, then obviously you're going to support their brand and buy a Baker skateboard. If you support Blind Skateboards, then obviously go buy a Blind skateboard and support that brand. But I always just skate a ton of different boards, and I never really stick to one brand, but that's just me. I really back CCS, and I've been shopping with them since the beginning. I've been shopping with them since 2015, and that was the beginning of my skateboarding journey. So I really back CCS. Shout out to CCS for making some great decks and having great service overall. That was my review for the CCS skateboard deck, and honestly, to answer the question, $30 boards are worth it. This skateboard has lasted me such a long time, as long as a big name brand would last me, so I really back this deck. I almost forgot to do my daily shout out, but today's shout out goes out to Luke Robertson. I'll pop his Instagram on the screen, make sure to go follow him. And today's question is gonna be, what is your current skateboard setup? So just leave your skateboard setup, leave your Instagram, subscribe and like, and I'll choose one of you guys to give a shout out to at the end of my next video. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the support. I recently just bought a new computer. All we need is the camera at 1,000 subscribers and we'll be set. I'll be making some really good videos, so I'm really excited for that. Thank you for all the support. It really means a lot to me. Leave a like, subscribe, and all of that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.